have said this a lot, and I will say it again because I think it is important. And I think we need to normalize this more. That 200, look, if I was to get very specific, I would say like 220 to 280 or something like that. But we'll just say like 200 to 300K range can be one of the toughest in business. And I think that it's hard to talk about that because it feels like at that point it shouldn't get harder. Like we're like, this is the stage where it should be getting easier. But I really do think that that is like one of the hardest, if not the hardest stages of business. Hi, Janaya, good to see you. Uh, because it puts you in a position of having made the money, having enough clients, doing enough things, but not feeling like you always know where to go next. And so it can feel like you're treading water. And what a lot of people do at that stage is make really big shifts because one, they have the capital, so they feel like they can. And two, because they're so eager to get to that next phase, right? Because again, this phase does often feel challenging. And so they're so eager to like grow as fast as possible, get to the next phase. And so a lot of people like do crazy things at this stage of business. And it's one of the reasons why it can feel like the hardest one because it makes us kind of make these big decisions that are not always best for us or the business, which is why I don't even know if this has a title. Does this not have a title? Let me see if I can fix that. I'm like, okay, you guys don't even know what we're talking about. So that would probably help. I don't even know how to fix it. Let's see. Let us see if we can fix that. But anyway, what we're talking about, not that it makes sense, is why that 250K ceiling isn't a strategy problem. Because what most people try to fix it with is strategy. And that can be so insanely frustrating because it is not typically a strategy problem, or it is not only a strategy problem, is maybe the best way to say that. And so I want to kind of like walk through this process of what I typically see at this stage and what it looks like and what actually is the real problem. And it's not mindset either. I mean, although that is like an important piece of this phase of business, as it is an important piece of any phase of business. Again, just like strategy is important at any phase of business, but like there is something very particular here that I feel like really, really matters. So that is what I want to talk about and get into. So I'm going to just like draw it out. Okay. The first thing I want to say is that like you don't make, we'll just use 250K this whole time, right? It's just an easy number. Hey, good to see you. But like assume it's in a range, like you can input yourself here if you're at 190 or 330 or whatever, but I'm just going to say 250K this whole time to have like an easy benchmark to talk about things. So you do not make $250,000 in a year by accident. Okay. Something is working to have gotten you to that point. And I cannot say how important this is because I feel like a lot of people at this stage in business feel like it's almost like, oh my gosh, I accidentally got here and now I have to do absolutely everything imaginable in every way imaginable to keep it. And so many people at this stage tell themselves a story that they like don't have a strategy or they don't have a client funnel or whatever the thing is, right? And it's like, I almost guarantee you you do. If you made 250K, you do. Something is working enough. Like you have enough data, you have enough set up that clients are coming in, converting, and something is working. And most people abandon that idea in favor of deciding something isn't working and they obsess over that. And that really fucks them up at this stage, but it is still not the problem we're going to talk about. So we'll get there. But I just like really want to land the plane on that. Like if you are at this stage of business and you are telling yourself the story that like you don't know how you got there, nothing's working, you have no strategy, blah, 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 blah. There is a reason you are falling into that pattern, and it's not because it is the truth. Like you do not make 250K in a year in your own business on accident. What really, is the thing is there's like a story that's getting told, right? But then they also at this stage have more clients to serve, more that they're on the hook for, more that they're managing. So they end up spending most of their time doing that and also deciding nothing works, right? So it's like I've decided that like I'm at this stage, but like I don't know how I got here. But now I have all this stuff to manage at this stage. And so I'm spending all my time managing this stuff, but I'm also deciding nothing works. And like that is what makes people go crazy at this phase of business, right? Um, okay, so like let's keep walking the pattern. Uh, Now they don't have time for doing the stuff that was working because they're doing all this other stuff, like serving the clients, blah, blah, blah. And so it's even easier to go, see, it was never working. See, it was never working. And then what people will say to themselves there, or what most people say to themselves is like, okay, I need to be more hands off with my marketing. Or like, I need a better marketing strategy and it needs to be totally free of me. And like, they will obsess over this, right? And it will become this whole thing of like, see, nothing is working. Then I'm doing other stuff in my business because my business demands that of me. And then it reinforces that pattern. And then I go, see, I have to be totally hands off of all of this. I can't handle this. I can't take this. And so they step out of their marketing. So instead of going, I need running the business to be more hands off so I can focus on my clients and marketing because obviously something was working. They go, oh, I need to step out of my marketing more. I need to have like this perfect funnel more. I need to be totally hands off, and it makes them insane. So the thing that I'm saying that makes it not a strategy problem and that it makes it actually a real problem is team and delegation. Like if you are at that ceiling, I almost promise you your biggest solution point is around delegation and team. And if you solve that and you capitalize on what was already working to get you to 250K and you have the time, energy to spend there, you will grow your business. If you let this stage spin you the fuck out, make you believe nothing's working, make you buy all of this shit that somehow says you have to like automate every ounce of your marketing and not have anything to do with it and whatever, that is how you tank your business. And that is how you feel really, 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 really frustrated in business. And to be clear, I'm not saying don't get a don't build a funnel or anything like that. I'm just saying like you're still probably going to have to be pretty invested in the building of your funnel. You're still probably going to have to like do the webinar or be present in that or whatever in a way that doesn't just look like, oh, I showed up for a moment. It looks like, oh, I am actively engaged in this. But again, what most people end up doing is because they're telling themselves this story that nothing works, even though they're making 250K a year, they start going, okay, I must need something different. I must need something else. And it's like, really, what you need is the time to keep doing what was working to get you to 250K, which is harder to come by when now you have 250K worth of clients. I get that. But like, that really, really is the problem to solve because that slope is so slippery and it is so easy to fall down it. And it's where most people end up at this stage completely over investing. So even though they're making great money, they're spending way more than they're making, right? They're absolutely strapped for time, but they cannot figure out how to free it up. They're really, really frustrated and they're getting deeper and deeper into this story of like, I don't have a plan, I don't have a strategy, nothing works. It is maddening. Okay. And our space will reinforce that for you so fucking much. Hey, Anna, it's good to see you. Rebecca said, hi, it's me. Okay, good. If this is you, this is going to be a really good one. It is so important. Jess said, oh, this is so good. Thanks, Jess. Morning, Lace. Um, like, and this is not to be like blamey or shamey. Like, I think the online space builds this up and sort of like preys on it a large extent, is because this is like the best group, if you think about it, to sell shit like this to because they have the money to buy it from you and they're scared enough that it's going to go away. Like, I hate to say it, but it's true. And you have to kind of be aware of that when you're in this phase of business. It's like, oh yeah, this is a phase where most people want to get you to buy all the things because now have the money to invest and buy a lot of the things. And it's the phase where you are most susceptible to spending the money, right? And because you're believing you don't know what works, right? And you have to get out of it and you have to step out more and you have to step out even more and you have to get out of your marketing. And you have to hire someone else to do your funnel. And. No, literally no. That is just like downward spiral to like believing your whole business doesn't work. The thing you absolutely need to do, which is like the point of this live stream, is you really need to focus on how are you utilizing team and how are you delegating. When you are at this phase, you really need to see yourself as the talent, right? I say this to clients all the time and like it can like feel some type of way, like when we don't see ourselves in that sense, but like you have to see yourself as the talent. Like the talent is you doing your thing, coaching, teaching, writing, content, whatever. Like you have to be using your talent in the right place. And then you have to have other people that are running the operations. What a lot of people are doing at this level that they don't even realize they're doing is they're staying so heavily engaged in like operations and client service. And I don't even just mean like coaching and serving the client. I mean like you need this link or you need this thing or we got to onboard or whatever. They're staying so deeply entrenched in all of that that they aren't the talent. And so they're not using the talent. And then they feel like their business can't grow. And it's like, yeah, because there's so little talent being funneled into it, right? Like your business is not going to grow off of like you onboarding someone, but your business is definitely going to grow off of you putting out the right content because someone else can onboard. Like obviously that is a process we need to do to grow the business, but someone else can't replicate your ability to like show up and market. I'm not saying you can't get help with that. I'm not saying you can't even have support with that, but like Jess is on here and I'm sure she'll tell you this too. Like she is a fantastic copywriter and she writes the best copy for the clients who also engage in their marketing and their storytelling and whatever. So she can go pull stuff from that and actually turn it into something. Like if a client gives her nothing, she can only work with so much, you know? And so I think this is what happens in these situations a lot of times is we stop giving almost anything from like a talent perspective, or we're just absolutely phoning it in. And we're going, see, it never worked. I don't know how I got here. It's totally an accident. And again, I would come back to no one makes 250K by accident. Like something was objectively working there. And the more you keep telling yourself that something wasn't working there, the deeper this goes, right? Like the further this spirals to the point where like you could be like, oh yeah, my business just doesn't work. And Jess said, yes, totally. Can I quote you? Absolutely, always. Um, but like that's the thing, right? Like you can have the best support in the world and you're still going to need to be the talent in your business. And that is the point of this live is when you are at that phase, stop trying to hire out the talent. Stop going, someone else is going to be better at my content than me. Someone else is going to be better at coming up with ideas than me. Someone is going to be better at figuring out what my message is than me. Stop all that shit, right? Just because it feels like maybe good to like do an onboarding thing and like check it off as completed does not mean that is the best place to spend your time. The best place to spend your time is being like, I am the talent and everybody exists around me to help me be more of that. Right. So, like for Jess, that is like where she's going to be the best in someone's business when someone is like being the talent and she exists to support them and to be a great part of their team that is bringing that genius to life. Right. Just that the genius has to exist for an expert hire to harness it. Exactly. Right. And that's true of anything else too. Like even like your team and whatever, if you go be the talent, you get the right team members to help run operations. They're just helping you be more of the talent. And then you're not putting pressure on your operations team to like get you results. Like I see this with people all the time too, is they'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'll hire a team, but like they need to help make sure that I can like double my income in the next year. And I'm like, that's not your OPM's job. Your OPM's job is to like give you enough white space so you can go double your income. It is not their job to like again, like re-strategize everything. It's their job to create enough white space for you so you can be the talent in your business. And anytime we're trying to outsource that, it's going to get sticky, which brings me to a point that I did not even mean to make in this live stream, but here we go. Um, that is why I'm so against outsourcing so much talent to AI because AI is like anything else. It can be a tool in your business. It can be a place you delegate. It can be like a team member. But what so many people do is they think that AI knows better than them about like their expertise. And so they outsource so much of it to that. And then you get to this point where you're almost like the worker bee in your own business. And you're trying to fill all your talent holes somewhere else. Like, oh, get this expert social media person, use AI, get an OBM that'll tell me they can double my income like that. I cannot tell you how much that fucks you over. It seems relieving, right? It seems like, oh, I get to turn down the pressure valve. AI knows my message better than I do. This social media team is more up on the trends. This whatever, copywriter is going to bring all this genius to it. And then you're like, I'm over here onboarding a client. Like, no, 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 no. Again, it might feel better in the moment. It might feel relieving. It might feel like, oh, great, I have all this expertise around me. I can like lean back and chill. But like we really want it to be flipped the other way. Like, oh, great, I have all this support around me, so I can go run with my expertise and my genius. Like that is where you are going to make money online. If you keep outsourcing it to everyone else, again, especially at this stage, because you're telling yourself that like you don't know how it works well enough, like people will keep letting you. Like if you give someone your power, they will let you most of the time. And then you'll be like, why is nothing working? And it will further lead to, oh yeah, because you're stepped out of it, not because it actually wasn't working. So when you really go, my job is to be the talent, and everybody's job is to function around that. AI's job is to just like make it faster for me to be the talent, or my copywriter's job is to harness that genius and like make it easier to translate to a page. My OBM's job is to run the business so I have enough white space to be creative and in the talent. Like that is where the money is. Like that is where the results are. And like, do you have to have self-trust to do that? Yeah, you have to trust your own genius. You have to trust your own talent. That's like a whole lot of work. I'm not trying to make light of that at all. Um, but that is the work. Like if you want results in business, I am telling you that is the work. Like it is not to find this one expert that like knows everything better than you. It's really not. It is to go, I am the expert that grew this business to 250K a year off this thing. And if I can continue doing that, I will get amazing results. What do I need to do that? Oh, yeah, I need to not be running the operations of this whole business. Like that is where it gets really, really good. And again, I'm not saying there is not work to do there. I'm not saying we don't have to work on our leadership, our self-trust, our confidence, all of those things. But that is the best work we can possibly do if we want to keep trusting our growth, if we want to be able to actually scale, make the money, all of the things. Like I see this behind the scenes in client businesses so often. Like when someone keeps trying to be like, someone else will know better than me, they're always frustrated in their growth. When someone's like, these people are around so that I can do more of what I'm good at, it is so easy to grow, hands down. Um, Jess said, trusting your own genius. That sounds easy. Just kidding. Right. It's not fucking easy. It's not easy. And trusting your team is such a big part of this too. Like, so this isn't like go be a lone wolf and do everything yourself. This is like you have to leverage team. I would say 9 times out of 10, the biggest challenge for business owners at this stage is that team and delegation standpoint, is getting out of doing the day-to-day stuff, is not obsessively being in every single planning of every single thing. That is keeping you stuck. Like that is not what is going to get you results. And what I will say to clients that, I think can be really hard sometimes, it is true, is like, they'll be like, well, I can't step out of it because XYZ on my team is, can't step into it. And it's like, okay, then you either need to train them up for that or you need to fire them. Like we cannot keep operating in this world where you are the one having to go in and fill every gap in your business, because that is what is actually not scalable, right? Again, so many people at this stage of business obsess over their model and different things like that. And it's like, if the model, and if any model, whether it's a membership or courses or one-on-one, if any model requires you constantly stepping in to fill gaps, fix other people's mistakes, make it clear to them what you need, repeat yourself, da, 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 that is actually what is not scalable. Like hands down. Because I come back to this constantly, but I feel like it's important. What does it mean to scale? It means increasing revenue at a faster rate than you're increasing your expenses. You know what the fastest way to increase your expenses is? Keep outsourcing your genius. Keep letting people on your team half-ass things and you keep fixing it and stepping in. Like that is how you massively end up increasing expenses without your revenue going up, because you then don't have time to go do revenue generating activities because you're so busy cleaning up everyone else's mess. Um, Megan says surround yourself with people who allow you to be in your genius. 100%. Like I am only available for a team that like sees that as their role, that sees their role as to keep me in a space of doing the things only I can do for the business. Like I am completely uninterested in having a team that's like, oh yeah, but can you just step in and do this? Can you blah, 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 blah. And it's not because I'm too good for anything. Like I will do fucking anything in my business. Like nothing is above or below me in that sense. But I also know that if I don't make the time to do these certain things, that it won't matter that I'm doing all these little tasks in my business because I won't have a business to be doing those in. Like it's kind of that simple. Um, and so you really have to be quite demanding, I would say, of having a team that sees it like that and that treats you like that. It doesn't mean no one can ever make a mistake or whatever, but it means you're not the solution to the mistake 9 out of 10 times. Like if you keep finding yourself being the one stepping in or the one creating the solution to every issue in your business, you do not have the right team. Hands down. Like it's true. Um, and again, at this stage, because you're probably newer to having team, it's really easy to write that off, or it's really easy to go, yeah, they could be better, but that's not the big problem. The big problem is really that I need XYZ more leads, right? Clients will say that to me, and I'll be like, cool, when are you going to have the time to go get XYZ more leads then? And they're like, well, I think I really need to like hire an ads agency. And I'm like, wait, what? Like again, I'm not saying we can't strategically do ads, but you're saying your team won't step up and you have to keep fixing their mistakes. And so instead of fixing it with team, you're going to go hire an ads agency. Make it make sense, right? Like it doesn't. It really doesn't. And so again, I'm not saying like you couldn't strategically decide to use ads, but like so often the things that we're fixing for at this level are team not showing up or you not delegating. Right? Because if you're really fully in delegation and the team is fully showing up, it is pretty easy to grow past that mark because you already have so much evidence of what has worked. If you can't get past that mark constantly and you're always going to another solution outside of team or delegation, you're going to spend a lot of money and be very frustrated. Like that's it. Like I'm pretty positive that's how it's gonna go. And like not because you're messed up, but because like this is what the industry kind of does to us. And because when we're not used to seeing team as like one of the biggest solutions, we just won't lean into that. Um, thank you, Jess. Okay, I have another thing to say about this too, because I feel like this is so alive with people right now too. Um, So what I see as well now, this is a very new problem, by the way. But it's also then going 0 to 60 with team. So it's like, like maybe you need like an OBM and a VA, right? But instead, again, this is the online space, you've heard these things and now you think you need a 50-person AI team. I mean, like it's funny, but it's not funny. Um, like most of the people that think they need a 50-person AI team have no team or they're not leaning on their team right now. Okay. Like I really mean that. If you have a great team right now, you can see how AI could contribute to that team, but you are in no way going, oh, I need a 50-person AI team for my 250K business. If you are not leaning into team and delegation right now, you definitely think at 250K that you need a 50-person AI team when one of those ads is presented to yourself. Just being real. Um, Chelsea or Jess says she feels accosted. Wait, Chelsea said I feel like this whole life could just at me and it'd be so bad. Chelsea, I love you. Rebecca said I don't trust myself to hire the right VA or OBM. I feel like I would trust the right person. Or I feel like I wouldn't trust the right person, maybe. Listen, same. I hired 6 people at the beginning of my business before I found the right person. Like a lot of my clients go through different versions of that. I mean, I will say like there's obviously things I could have done better looking back. Like I could have done test projects with people. I could have done shorter trial timelines. Like there's many things I could do there. But like I am someone who let me think of how well let's just get into it. I was going to say, let me think of how to like say this in a light way so we can move on to the topic. But like, when do I ever want to say anything light? My attachment pattern is, let's just go there. My attachment pattern is definitely fearful avoidant. I mean, I feel like I've healed a lot of that. I would say like I've earned my security, but like that is my like original attachment pattern, right? And so like my core wound is around trust. And so much of the work in my business has not been about trusting myself. It's been about what does it mean to trust other people. And so for me, like it really took time and it took putting things in place and whatever, but it was the worthwhile work to do. And I just can't like say that enough. Like if you're like, my wound is also trust, and I like really struggle with that. Like I really get that same, that has like 100% been my work and my journey. And also it is the only reason my business has grown is because I was willing to work through that and go, huh, maybe it's me. And also not all of it was me. Like some of it really was just the wrong people, and it was trusting myself enough to be like, this is just the wrong person. But it's like there is no version that we can escape that doesn't make us have to figure out who we can trust and how to work with them well, you know? Um, Jess said 50% AI teams are more fun to tinker with in denial than it is to feel your feelings. I mean, I think that's really the truth of it. Like, and I'm not saying AI won't ever get to the place where it's that good, but I honestly do not believe it's there yet. That is just my personal opinion. Like, do I think it's coming? Probably. Have I seen anybody doing this where I'm like, wow, that's genuinely producing really, really useful shit? No. Like, I'm just being honest. And like we have tried things in our business. Like I am very pro using AI as a tool. Taylor has tried a lot of things. We will continue to try more things. I think Cloud Cowork is very interesting. Like I'm not saying it's not getting there, but I'm just saying like it's such an easy cop out right now. And it's probably not going to return what it gets presented to return right now. Again, this could be not true 3 weeks from now. I have no idea. I think it's like moving at a very fast rate, but currently you do not need a 50% AI team to run a 250K business. You need one or two really good team members that you trust and that you're willing to delegate to and get out of their fucking way. Like hands down. Yeah, Megan, exactly. AI can be so smart, but it can also be so dumb, right? Like, yes, 100%. And like, again, not that like we shouldn't be using it as a tool, but like with that context in mind, instead of like, great, my whole business is run by bots and I'm like ready to grow. Like the people that are running their business with bots and are growing because they're selling you shit about running their business with bots and they're putting ads behind that. Like it's not hard to figure out the strategy, right? And I'm not even saying that it's bad. Like there's literally no hate on that. It's just like instead of hearing what we want to hear, which is like your business will grow if you have an AI team, we have to see what is actually true. Their business is growing because they're really good at marketing and running ads. And who's in the ads? Them, not an AI team member. Like that is the truth. You know what I mean? Um, Rebecca, that's so funny. I think of it like a very smart, overconfident intern. That's amazing. I love that. Yes. That has like lots of ideas and like lots of like thoughts about what you should do, but that like probably isn't gonna like get that much done for you, right? Um, you know, just something to think about. But like 1000% at this stage, something already works. And that is what I'm trying to like get you to hold on to if you're at this place of business. Like you did 250K because something hands down works in your business, in your model, whatever. If you could create the time and energy and space to capitalize on that, it would be so hard not to grow. If you keep interrupting that with more people telling you shit you should do, or trying to outsource all of your genius and do something totally different, or trying to build a 50% AI team or whatever, your business will not grow because you have stopped doing the things that got you there. And I know that saying like what got you here won't get you there. And sometimes that is true. But a lot of times when it comes to like that client, what am I trying to say? Client acquisition, it's actually not true. So we're maybe capitalizing on it in different ways. We're like, oh, what got you here got you this amount. And what if we put ads behind it? Or what if we got more virality? Or what if we reach more people or whatever? Fine. Like, absolutely. But there is still this like piece of like what was here. And when you keep turning your back on that, you're basically starting your business over. But you're starting your business over while you already have a full-time job. Think about it like that. If you're at this stage and then you're pretending you don't know anything and you're redoing everything, you're starting your business over, but you have the full-time job of running this business. So if you want to build all the way up to here and then put yourself back in a situation where you're back at square one with a full-time job, by all means, but it's not going to feel fun and it's not going to feel easy. And it's going to feel like, why is this so fucking hard all the time? That would be why. And I really want to say, like, of course, we all have our own shit that we bring to this, and there's plenty of reasons that we like fall into these patterns, and like we could get into all that. But at the end of the day, like the online space really does perpetuate like a lot of this. And so I think it's like important to say that too. Like you really do have to be careful like what you're consuming and what stories are getting told to your brain constantly, because the online space will convince you that that is exactly what you should do. Like take everything you've built, burn it down and rebuild it because it benefits from that, you know? Um, Rebecca said she loves you so much and just wants to impress you. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. That is such a good analogy. So good. It's so true. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not, I'm not saying it's not, it couldn't have some strategy involved, like absolutely big, big strategy fan here, but you cannot execute on the strategy if you are not leaning on team and delegating, right? You can have the most brilliant strategy in the world and it absolutely matters not because you are not executing. Like at this point in the online space, strategy and ideas are a dime a dozen. Like everybody has them, everybody can use AI to generate more. There's always like an idea to be had. The difference right now in the online space is execution. It really is, like hands down. So if you're not leveraging your money and your 250K of revenue and clients right now to buy yourself more ability to execute, i.e. with yourself in your own space and with team, you're not spending in the right place, in my opinion. Like if you are just buying more and more strategy, you're going to feel absolutely insane. I mean, I don't know how else to say that, right? Because you're going to have this stack of strategy that you should be doing. You're going to have no time to do it, but you're going to feel busy all the time. And then you're going to tell yourself this story that like you're working so hard and it's not working, which would be true because you're going to be working very hard for it not to work. And you're going to have this whole list of other things that you think you need to be working on. And really, it kind of comes back to like, do you have people helping you do the work? Do you have the right work on your plate? That is so fucking scalable when you have the right work on your plate. When you don't, it is maddening. It is so overwhelming. It feels like you are always behind. It feels like you are never enough. You are never doing it. I mean, it's like a whole thing. It really is. So anyway, if you're at this stage, please, please, please know. I see you. I get it. It's really hard. It's super hard to make decisions here. It's super hard to trust yourself, to know what's next, to not get caught up in the hype. You are most people's absolutely ideal client at that point. And it's very, 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 very easy to get caught in the hype. Um, but if you really stay focused on like, what do I need to be the talent and stay in my zone of genius, and you triple down on that, you're gonna grow. You really are. If you get too far away from that, there's only so much you can come back from. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much you can take yourself out of your business until it's just not you in the business anymore. And again, what everyone will convince you is that at this stage, you basically have to have a business you don't have to run. And I just disagree with that so fully. Like most of us are building lifestyle businesses. Like I have built and sold a business. It is a different ballgame. I would not sell a lit up life but I don't need to. Do you know what I mean? Like most of us have to see that we are building lifestyle businesses. Like we are not building a business to sell. And so if we're building lifestyle businesses, like the number one goal of a personal brand and a lifestyle business is not to take ourselves out of it. It is to find the right ways to put ourselves in it. It's to be in it in a way that does not, like take over our life and time and like feel unmanageable, of course, right? But the way we do that is through like really good team and leadership. It's not through building a business that needs absolutely none of you. right? Not to mention that that's not what works in personal branding right now. Again, like I think a lot of people make themselves crazy because they're trying to build this personal brand that absolutely needs none of their personality. And it's like, of course that's hard. That is actually hard. Like it feels hard because that's actually fucking hard to do, you know? Um, again, not that you can't build a business to sell if that's what you want, but like that's a whole different thing. Do you know what I mean? That's not like I'm taking my coaching business to 250K. That's like I have this whole other very, very, very long-term strategy that I'm building with ideally from the beginning, you know? So anyway, probably not strategy. It's not that you don't need any, but if you're investing really heavily in strategy at this stage of business, you're probably not going to see the return from it like you want to because you're probably going to be capped on how well you can execute that strategy. Once you get past this and you really have the team in place to execute strategy, it's probably very worthwhile to start thinking about strategy again. Like I feel like with a lot of my clients, like once we get the team in place or really locked in at this place and we have like a well-oiled machine, it's like really fun to be like, cool, what other strategies can we capitalize on? Because we know it's actually reasonable to do it. But to do that work before you have that is actually not even that fun. I mean, it might be like temporarily fun or scratch an itch, but it's usually just going to lead to like more and more frustration. So this is the thing. I hope it is helpful. I know that sometimes like it is not always the thing we want to hear. I think sometimes telling the truth about this stuff is not always appealing. Or yeah, like it's certainly not making me any sales, if you know what I mean. But like I also think it's really important to tell the truth about this stuff because it it is so easy to stay here for years, spinning your wheels, spending money in all the wrong places. Like it really, really is. And so I hope this helps that not to happen. I hope that it is a reminder that like so much of it is just the noise and it's not what's true. And if you start looking at your own business and like what's actually true and what's taking up your time and what's actually capping your growth, if you weren't just telling yourself that somehow you suck and don't know business, like it would probably be so obvious that it was this stuff. So I hope that helps. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for always, I think being like so receptive to like even like the kind of like less sexy conversations. I appreciate y'all so much. Hope you have a good week. And side note, I don't think I said this on here this week because obviously Suri and I went live last week, but literally season 13 is live now. So if you watched us last week, don't forget you can start listening to the first two episodes are already out and then we'll have a new one coming out this Wednesday. So hope you guys have a beautiful week and I will see y'all next week. Bye y'all.